Hello, I am Endlessness and welcome back to Final Fantasy VII Level Crisis, and in this video I'd like to give you a guide for the current dungeon ranking event. Alright, I promise this is the last video on the dungeon ranking, and initially I thought I was done because I didn't really want to spend any more time on this event, but I wanted to try Adult Sephiroth and see what score I could get with him, and I managed to get 5.8 million, so I got a tiny bit higher score. But then I recorded my run, and slowly at the end of the dungeon when I was at those Tripopolises, when I wanted to retry the battle, the dungeon froze on me. You know, the same problem that exists in those dungeon ranking events since always. It's not that the game freezes, but when you pause the battle, sometimes the game will just remain paused because you paused at that unlucky millisecond, and then you have to close and relaunch the game. And after you relaunch the game, even though the game gives you the option to resume the dungeon, after you click on it, the dungeon will just automatically end. And that is even more infuriating because you just wasted 30 minutes of your time or more. But at this point, I don't think it'll ever be fixed. However, I went into the dungeon again, and with this team I managed to get 25,000 higher score. I know it's nothing compared to those high scores that you can achieve with Vincent or Cloud's Ice Weakness weapon, but still, at least I'm happy with this, especially because I got that score with both my mains in the team, actually my whole main team, and also no FF13 crossover gear as well. But on this team, Cloud is still the same, but now I have Sephiroth with Kikui to apply magic damage bonus, so Aerith has Citric and then Terra for those two bosses. But Sephiroth doesn't only give damage bonus, but with Masamune he can get high bounty magic defense debuff on bosses, so that is actually very helpful. And the only small downside is that for Enfeeble I need to charge his Octa Slash, and that means that he needs to use AB to get that. Aerith now has Bahamut outfit with still Army of 1, Citric for ice damage buffs, Terra to lower ice resistance, and for materia I only use D-Breath, and those two are just defensive stat sticks. And same sub-weapons. Cloud is exactly the same, and I didn't change anything on him. And now Sephiroth has Arcanum outfit with attack for allies, Octa Slash, Kikui for damage bonus, Masamune to lower magic defense, D-Breath and D-Faith defensive stat stick, and in sub-equipment slots he only has 3 magic attack for allies weapons to boost Cloud. Alright, I didn't change anything really about the dungeon, and I tried going for the ads before Rufus, but that kind of screws me up a little bit for later, because I also use them to charge Limit Break and summons. So let's just save here and go for Rufus. Alright, Rufus opening is just start debuffing his magic defense, and exploit weakness with Cloud, Citric with Aerith, but after you do Citric, just do D-Breath twice. And with Sephiroth, you can do Kikui or Masamune second time because you want that -3 magic defense debuff on the boss. So it doesn't matter in which order, but you just have to do it. And alright. One attack with Cloud, and I'm going to use his ultimate weapon to get that amplified next attack, and of course it didn't connect. I was hoping it would, but well, I do it second time, and you could use a little bit more extra AB on Sephiroth to get Enfeeble, but I rather, and then with Enfeeble you could just kill him in 1 hit, but I rather use 2 hits on Cloud, because it will give me a tiny bit more on that summon gauge, and I need that for Jenova. And now the transfer abilities, and I'm just going to use the left one, because now magic defense debuffs matter even more to me. So let's just jump down to Jenova. And save. Alright, with Aerith, buff Cloud, and also do any other attack so she gets army of 1, and with Sephiroth, damage bonus with Kikui, and at least then I just rather keep debuffing that magic attack so she doesn't do too much damage. And well, with Cloud I don't really have a lot of AB, so I'm just going to go a little bit slow here and kind of time it, because I still need to do 2 attacks, and Jenova will do Sigil Phase very quickly, so when you feel like she will start charging and attack one of those lasers, you can do very quickly an attack and another one if you time it enough. It is kind of just feeling, and it might take you a few tries, but I know, sometimes it works. And now the transfer abilities, and I'm going to pick the right one because I want to use Shiva on Angeal and Sephiroth, and with that 50% buff it might actually help me a lot more. So let's just save it because the ads. Alright, with Aerith the Terra, Sephiroth just magic damage buffs and Citric, and I know command gauge is not maxed out, it's reduced, but with Cloud focus on the left enemy. Also, if you want to, you can keep switching to defense to take a little bit less damage. And I kind of screwed up, I should have stayed one more second here, but wait for the Sigil phase, because then you automatically get your max stance, and now the bomb will not attack you anymore. And here you can just chill for the remainder of this battle and just do nothing. I'm not going to kill this bomb anytime soon because I'm just going to wait for my overspeed. Not to max out, but charge it a little bit more. Because it's the safest moment in the dungeon, so there's no rush. Alright, now I have to hit it. Alright, now... Alright, I have to move the character and now just go for Angeal and Sephiroth. And here, immediately I am going to activate Octa Slash to get Enfeeble, and with Sephiroth just debuff magic defense, but with Aerith I have to get her army of 1. So beside ice buffs for Cloud, just use any ability to get that as quickly as possible. Right here, one more. I don't... Yeah, this is unfortunate. I was hoping, because sometimes it depends on the connection. Sometimes you get that second attack, sometimes not. So I guess this was a little bit unlucky, but it's fine. Alright, let's just quickly switch here. Yes, my Shiva is almost ready, so perfect. Shiva ready. Octa Slash ready, so both will have Enfeeble still active. Magic defense debuff, so that should be a big hit, hopefully. Perfect. And Angeal is still stunned. So his defenses are down and we're doing a lot more damage, so that is actually the best Sephiroth and Angeal battle I managed to do. And now, always go for the right one. This is the most perfect transability for this dungeon. And, well, I still have to charge a little bit on Aerith and Sephiroth on those cactuars. Alright, Aerith doesn't have to do anything, but I'm just using her to get her summon gauge a little bit closer, same with Sephiroth. But defeat those two cactuars because otherwise they'll attack you with a charged attack, and you want to avoid that because now cactuars do quite a lot of damage. So that should be actually fine, I think. Right, let's grab this chest and Ifrit. Alright, Citric and Terra with Aerith, with Sephiroth, Kikoi and Masamune, exploit weakness with Cloud, and also his ultimate ability for that amplified next attack, and then Octa's Dash for Enfeeble, and hopefully I can get this, well, Ifrit down in one hit, because I have all those buffs and debuffs and overspeed with amplified attack. So that should be a much higher score thanks to that much higher big PP damage. Alright, and last transability, and I think without a question the middle one is just perfect. Yeah. Let's just do this. I just had to double check. But yeah, 90% on summon, not really good. I mean, unless you have massive PP damage with your weapon, then Shiva will basically no damage to save you on Masamune. Alright, and the cursed Tripapolis. Well, cursed because last time they froze the dungeon for me. Hopefully this time it will be fine, but with Cloud I can just finish them off and ideally finish one, but with Sephiroth and Aerith I am trying to get enough on their gauges as possible, so here just one. Cloud is also looking good, Sephiroth good, and yeah, should be fine even though that last attack on Aerith didn't connect. It'll be fine. Alright, and let's go for Masamune. And the reason why Aerith's enemy skill gauge doesn't have to be anywhere close to being full is because she'll have to cast Terra multiple times to lower that ice resistance, so it'll max out. Alright. One Citric and just keep casting Terra with Sephiroth, just lower magic defense, and to Kikoi, and with Cloud exploit weakness and just keep. Actually, yeah, that just, I would say you can do 2 attacks, but that second attack wouldn't have connected. But now with the transabilities, Shiva should definitely finish that off. Technically I could have clicked on the summons maybe 2 seconds earlier, but it wouldn't really have made any difference. But yeah, it's still very nice score here. So I'm pretty confident it should be a higher score for me. At least I don't, well, I think so. Oh yeah, I'm done. I'm happy with this. Actually very happy. It's what, 25,000 overall improvement with Sephiroth? So I couldn't be any happier with that. Maybe I could improve one by what's 2,000, but it's such tiny difference. It's not worth my time. But yeah, I'm very happy right now. But yeah, so Adult Sephiroth or Sephiroth works very nicely. And that's it. Unless you have ice weakness weapons, then at least I think that this works great. So yeah, I hope you found my guide helpful, and good luck on your own clear, and in the meantime, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next one.